because the Bills are playing the Patriots this week, we brought in the Patriots.
Well, hey, I'm taking the spread. We'll talk about that later.
Bob Wire, of course, spent a season in the old cartoonish uniforms of the New England Patriots.
But they've come back. I've seen all those throwback jerseys are coming back now for a lot of the
Since
games.
you're not using it, I thought maybe you'd finish with this. Do you still have when you see that team coming, are you still a New England Patriot? Is there something when they play the Bills that you're saying, yeah, I was one of them?
It's just not necessarily the Bills. Talking about it now, I get goosebumps when you said that. Seriously, it's seeing that helmet, that jersey, that
when
logo.
They use that helmet.
Just when they go throwback, it's like it brings everything back.
That's been 30 years. You don't lose it, do you?
No, I scored a touchdown. I threw a touchdown in the NFL. I'm good. I'm good.
Right. That's a good place to stop. But the Bills have got 2 games left. I saw this list. I couldn't believe it. There are 14 different scenarios in this week that the Bills can clinch a playoff berth by.
Yeah, it makes sense. Listen, Buffalo weathered that storm. We all know it was a big game, a turnaround for the Kansas City game. They look pretty much ready to go into the playoffs going forward. They win against the Patriots. Although I have this sneaking suspicion Bill wants to give one more little tag before the Buffalo Bills.
Well, isn't that the thing? If the idea that everyone says he's not coming back, he doesn't have to play the futures game thinking about, I don't want to lose my draft position. I'm going to get a quarterback next year. Like you said, he could stick it to his own team by winning a game.
And he's a stick it to a guy. Wouldn't you not agree with that?
Absolutely. Spoiler alert. I'm going to take New England with the points, but I think they have a chance to beat Buffalo. I think it's a scary game for the Bills this week. I think it's a really scary game.
The game before the game against Miami.
Exactly. Looking ahead to Miami because they won 3 when they should have only maybe won 2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you impressed that they were able to rally? We'll kind of deal with the Patriots game individually in the next segment, but that they, it was just 2 weeks ago, it was woe is me with this team, and now they're sitting in a pretty nice spot.
I'm tired of trying to predict what's going on with Buffalo. I'm serious. I thought they were going to get rolled by Dallas. Yeah. Everything led up to the fact that they were going to get smoked by the Cowboys. And then they should have rolled the Chargers and squeaked by. I'm through betting with them. I'm betting against them. No.
Wait, it was more against Dallas, I think, on the road, and the fact that they've not been able to play well on the road, and Buffalo was at home for that game. I think there was a major difference there.
You take anything away from the Charger game?
Listen, when it comes down to a close game, the Bills are going to fight all the way to the end, and they need to. I think what happens is I got worried about the Charger game, and I said that last week. It's one of them letdown games. It's kind of like, you know what? We went so hard last week. We got Dallas next week, or whatever it might be. You kind of worried about the upcoming games or the Patriots next week. You kind of worry about these upcoming games because you need to win because Miami's that far ahead of you. But I just think that I'm concerned about them playing down to the Patriots, which leads me to believe Bob might be right about that pick.
It's always been a sucker game for Buffalo. They win the 2 games they're not supposed to. They're looking ahead to Miami. When you look at records, they're supposed to beat the Patriots, supposed to beat the Chargers, and they can look ahead and play conservative.
Well, but they're not different. Maybe to the extreme, but they're not different in that regard to any other team in the NFL. As a guy who played in the league and gets to play his share of football games, why can't you fight the letdown? Why do you let the letdown take over and produce a game like the Chargers?
I honestly think it's leadership. I've been talking about this since the beginning of the year about the Bills. I don't know who the leaders are. They've got a lot of crybabies. They got a lot of people who are quiet, silent leaders. I think in this league, you need someone that's very vocal and visible, that's a good leader on the sidelines. And Josh fakes it sometimes and tries to be that guy, but really that's not in his DNA. He can't do that.
You either have it or you don't.
I honestly think it's leadership. There shouldn't be a letdown again. They should have rolled the Chargers by 20.
Yeah, it's very concerning to me. If I'm James Cook, I do not want to go back there at all, for crying out loud. Gabe Davis shows up after not showing up the last 7 weeks. It's just, I think you're onto something. Josh will show up. If he has a bad game, who else will step up and make the game happen for you? But I guess we'll talk about that in the upcoming segment.